Father, you're a sad old man. Your tawdry vest is gray. Memories of a former man are all your words convey. So the newly rehabbed printers are generally doing well. However, I forgot to do one thing with this, which is I created these little feet. Created these little feet that go around the control box because my custom made spools, which are 2 kilograms instead of 1, put the center of gravity a little off center. And even though mostly it still works, you know, you want to kind of balance that out a bit. But we have a pretty good result here. All the extrusion and stuff is fine. It just clearly got messed up when this thing tipped over. Really, for being tipped over, this looks pretty good. Yeah, once you got the foot on there, you can feel it's a lot harder to make that thing tip over. Over here, Pug Boy made a bunch of these actually. You know, something I do around the holiday time is I take the small things that sell a bunch and I just like crank them out one after one after one after another. Gandhi, making some extra T-Rex arms. A few of those have messed up. And Gandalf and David. That T-Rex, see, the arm messed up. I think I need to do something about that because that's just happening way too much. And David and a couple of tentacles messed up. We do have some extras, but I think I might even redesign a thing where these are connected. Basically, we'll plate it as one giant object that's just connected at the bottom with little strips. So this doesn't happen, because this is super annoying. This shark got done, I already took it off. This is a big coffee lid. We sold another giant coffee cup. Need to print the cup itself next. D20 hammerhead, that's actually going to a customer. Sharky, man, that Smilodon skull, think about how long that's been printing. It's been like a bunch of episodes. Alien, and that is a Mimic can right there. I really feel like this is going to be the sleeper hit because I've only sold a couple of these like since I launched it. It was actually a custom project for somebody originally that I turned into a product. But like I've sold a bunch of them now. It'd be weird if this was the thing that I sold the most of. Clock strikes 1, 3 and 4. Gonna clock around the rock some more. Oh yeah, I forgot this guy's here and turned out just fine. This guy is a viable printer now. All right, we're hopping a freight train to Klein's. Very full. We out here. So much stuff. Gonna be a wild holiday. Let's get some kofefe. Not too many coffee trips left in the year. If I am remembering right, I think the day after Thanksgiving is 4 days away. We're 4 days away from oblivion. Man, it is just incredibly nice out. Get coffee. Aha, we've arrived. So you guys know that once in a while, I let myself get the fancy coffee. Peppermint mocha, baby. It's gonna be one of the last days that we're not 100% completely slammed. So I think we're going to the dollar store and finding some Christmas decorations. I know it sounds weird, but I'm just so shocked that those thank you cards didn't work at all. Like, this is why I don't say very many things definitely when it comes to business, especially. Like if somebody had asked me, like if I was a consultant and just paid, you know, and somebody asked me, do you think thank you cards are a good idea? I would have said for sure yes, like, because they're so low cost. And to be fair, I only sent out like 30 of them. I mean, you could imagine having a bigger test, but 30 thank you cards sent to customers who had products I'm sure they're happy with, like, and none of them leave reviews. That is something I would not have guessed. What I was thinking was gonna happen, worst case scenario, is like 2 or 3 people leave reviews, and it's like, well, do I really want to like send out all these cards and buy stamps and write all this stuff just to get like 2 or 3 reviews? But it was 0. I mean, I kept track. So yeah, you get the truth here on this channel. Like, I revisit my hypotheses, and if I'm incorrect, I'll tell you. Man, sometimes I wish I had a dash cam. Maybe I'm gonna get myself one for Christmas, because like, this is so hard to describe. I was in one of those shared turn lanes waiting to pass into this plaza, and somebody else from pretty far away, like, just is like coming at me in the shared turn lane for like 5-6 seconds, and they're not slowing down, and like, it's clear they're just gonna run into me. So I start honking, and what this guy does is he, like, it looks like this from my perspective. He's coming at me in the shared turn lane, and he crosses into oncoming traffic and goes around me. Granted, there didn't happen to be anybody coming when he did that, but then he just goes back into the shared turn lane once he's around me. He doesn't even slow, like, it didn't occur to him, oh, maybe I should slow down. No, he just like kept going. And, well, that was very, very annoying and stupid and dangerous. Yeah, I think I am gonna get a dash cam. Man, some of these Texas drivers are crazy. I swear their parents are cousins. I like this math dyno. I always feel a little weird when my total is 1488. Anyone that's watched American History X knows what that means. Immediately after facing death in the face, I have come bearing tidings of great cheer. I guess these, we wouldn't want to put this against a lighted background, but yes, very cute. An adorable Christmas camper. Christmas truck bearing tree. A true stocking stuffer. A tree so dank, the carols write themselves. Just like candy. And of course, lastly, we had to have some kind of humanoid representative. That made me think of this guy I used to work with at Burger King. This was when I was still homeless. He was covered in like neo-Nazi tattoos and stuff, but this guy was like a reformed neo-Nazi. And I worked with him a lot, and it was a really, you know, it's one of those experiences that, I don't know if I would say it was exactly pleasant, but it's one of those experiences I'm kind of glad that I had, because it's like, man, people just make crazy mistakes in life, and you just should be grateful that you didn't you didn't make dumber mistakes than you've already made. But yeah, I mean, I worked with him enough to know that he really was not a racist anymore, but it just sucked because he was covered in all of those, you know, all the tattoos that the Aryan Brotherhood guys have. It's just, I don't know. I just think about that guy because people really can change, you know? Like, it was just so dark what he was involved in. But like, he was just a legitimately good guy. He was, at least as far as I could tell, you don't really know somebody just from working with them, I guess. But he was an extremely reliable worker. He was like the best worker there, basically. You could tell that he was really trying to, I mean, he had gotten all those tats in prison and stuff. You could tell that he was really trying to turn his life around. Here we go. For the past couple of Christmases, I've only had one Christmas decoration. I mean, these things are $1 a piece, you know, why not go all out a little bit? I was gonna hang these little guys here, I'm not totally sure I won't, but I think I got another place for them. What about like here? Your fridge is kind of Christmassy anyway. Yeah, I never see them in the front row, in the front room. Just put them right here where we'll see them all the time. All right, we got 7 of these guys. We're gonna try and position them in some way that makes sense. I think the move here, we're gonna put the Christmas tree kind of in the middle, and then we're gonna festoon everything around it. I also kind of like this because the light is there and it's just so like glittery. Pretty dang Christmassy. Well, it's probably enough screwing around for now. We're going to get the big printers going and we're gonna start making filament, and it's gonna be another brick in the wall. I was born to sing a good time song. You know that nothing used to keep me down. Got some new nozzles and they do appear to be the right size, so that's nice. I haven't talked about the data side of the channel anytime recently, but with my background in day trading, there's a lot of stuff I've been keeping track of. For anyone that finds this stuff interesting, this is the view count for every video. And as you can see, it's been pretty crazy, but this is generally an uptrend. Like if you, I could actually plot a moving average if I wanted. Maybe I'll do that. But as you can see, this is going up. So that means that you guys are viewing more and probably the audience is growing and stuff. This is the view hour chart. And it means, you know, the total amount of time that my videos are being viewed if you add it all together. As you can see, that is generally going up, and it's actually been like, I mean, it's oscillating like crazy, but it is going up dramatically in the last few weeks or whatever that is. This is the amount of total views for the entire channel, and it's extremely linear. It's actually strange how straight of a line that is. This is subscriptions, and it's pretty similar, but there was this big bump somewhere in there. I think that's when I got the giant plastic shipment. People found that pretty interesting. What you're kind of looking at when you look at all this, this is very much how I do day trading. It's a lot of statistical analysis. And anyway, here are the headings if you're interested. MA is moving average. Right here, 3,000, that was the amount of watch hours that I had to have to get monetized, but I passed that a long time ago. And I have a column called 7 videos ago. The idea is I look at the video that was released 7 ago because it's gonna get most of the views that it's already gotten most of the views it's going to get. And yeah, these are the view counts on that. So that's interesting. This is a moving average. It's a 5 moving average if I remember right. This is total amount of views. This is the change per day. So this is the total amount of views I'm getting per day. This includes every video, not just the current video or whatever. This is a residual. What that is the daily views minus the 7 videos amount view, because that's showing me, like, roughly speaking, how many of these views are residuals, meaning like old videos, you know. It's not perfect, but it's something. And then there's a moving average of that, subscriptions, and kind of the same thing. So if you guys have a channel and you're really like trying to keep track of stuff and figure things out, I do kind of recommend doing something like this. You may come away with the impression that I'm like obsessed with the numbers and stuff, but really this is just kind of something I do. And it's interesting to me, like statistically analyzing stuff. When you've been day trading for years, it's just how you think. Like if my views went to nothing or very, very little or half of what they would be, I would still be doing this. It's not really making a huge difference. But I just like keeping track of stuff. And it also kind of goes with, like, I've been doing the same thing. You guys probably saw a couple months ago or something. how I keep track of my daily expenses. It's like being a business owner and day trading and stuff. You just want to know the stats so you can kind of at a glance figure out where you're at. Okay, so here's a real weird thing. You guys probably remember from a few videos ago, you remember those orange shoe feet? The feet that are orange? I mean, if you saw it, you would remember. Somebody just emailed me and they're like, I didn't order this, and nobody I know ordered this for me. This is freaking me out. How did they get my email if they don't even know about, like, my email's not on the package? I don't know. It's so weird. I mean, I'm sure somebody got it for them for a gift, but I don't understand how they got in contact with me. It just has like the return address on the package. My email isn't even public. Like, I don't understand. Okay, I messaged them asking, among other things, I asked them, like, I'm curious how you got my email if you didn't order from me. And they responded, that's what I'm asking you. What does that mean? Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna run down the street and get some of those candles because we really need them for the holidays. That's weird. Their sign is out, but people are walking in and out, so
Attention Ollie shoppers. We're proudly partnering with the Marines Toys for Tots program.
Bag secured. Yup, feeling pretty good. Also, I got some of these. They are candy corn scented, sort of. And like every other rational human being, I don't like candy corn. But this smells amazing. Smell it. Take a whiff. Time to get down to some business, and we are playing the friggin' classics, baby. Thought I'd show you guys what I'm doing right now in MeshMixer. As you've seen, the T-Rex arms have failed a few times, and this has been a thing for a long time. Like, a lot of times they print okay, but I'm just kind of tired of this, and it's going to be one less thing to worry about. So what we're doing is we're making these, I don't think you'd call them supports, but they essentially increase the surface area, and they cause like small parts to not fall over. And yeah, what you do after this is you make them all one object and then plane cut them roughly where this was before. Just a little tip and trick. Now, there are probably going to be some people in the audience that want to say something like, well, can't you just make brims? Like a slicer can make brims. The thing I don't like about brims is they print a whole thing around, you know, the edges, and then you got to take all of that off. Whereas this does most of the same work, but it's very easy to take these little strands off. That's the difference. I don't know why, but I was thinking about gurus and stuff. Not just self-help gurus, but a lot of anybody that people sort of idolize. I was thinking, like, what's really bad about that? And because it does feel kind of bad in a way. The really bad thing about letting people idolize you and never pushing back on that is because, like, then that means for them that you're the standard that they're supposed to be imitating, or they're supposed to be working towards. And the thing is, like, you know, let's take somebody like Michael Jordan or something. Like, you idolize Michael Jordan. If he kind of lets you idolize him, in a sense, it's almost like you never reach your ideals, generally speaking. I mean, if you do, it's disappointing, because then it's like you don't have anything to strive for. But if you let somebody treat you like the ideal, that means you're, in a sense, limiting them. You're limiting what they can do. And that's just a shame, because especially if it's like, I don't know, in art or something that's really cool. It's like we want better things. I want, you know, if I was famous for being a musician, I wouldn't want people to think of me as what they're idolizing, what they're trying to move towards, because I want there to be better music than what I can make, you know? And if people are limited by me, then that's just going to make the world less beautiful. Also, when I started in music, I knew a lot of musicians that were like competing with each other in a way, trying to be better than the person they know. And I had this instinctual thing that I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be better than like Jimi Hendrix. You know, I want to be better than Eric Clapton. not saying I really achieved that per se, but I was more me than them, and the music I made I liked better than their music for sure. But I just hated this thing of having like a low, like if you're gonna go for something, just go for the absolute ideal. Aim as high as you know how to, you know? Anyway, that was just a rant that occurred to me, but if you're ever in a position of prominence at all and people start idolizing you and stuff like that, make sure you're not really encouraging that. That's like the real crime, in my opinion, of cults and gurus and things like that. Anything where there's just a bunch of people sort of worshiping some central figure, it's because they're not the greatest. And they shouldn't even think that, you know? I don't know, just a random thought. Like a real leader basically wants their followers to be better than them, you know? They don't want to be a limit to their followers. Yep, there we go. Yep, that's what it's gonna do. Cheese it! It's the cops! Time to get this Octo ready to paint. Einstein! Just checking on this guy. Looks like the first layer is coming out nice. Yep, these lines really do help. You'll see on the trinket dishes, I don't have any made up just yet. The T-Rex trinket dish specifically, I do lines like this, and it really helps. I bet you anything that both of these arms are going to print correctly. May seem like a small thing, but once we're starting to do 30, 40, maybe like 30, 40 orders a day, you don't want to have to be remaking these arms. I've done it before and it sucks. So it's time to get that solved. David can. I believe this guy is going red. Dorfy boy. Dorf can. D20 bank. Alien can. Couple of Davids. This guy is going white, and this is black and white. Couple of Moai 2s. Couple of little Sharkos. Now we are going to paint. Those things you just saw and a couple more things are on the painting block. Here we've got before and after. Everybody's looking pretty good. Sharkos. Next printer to rehab, it's the one sitting right next to the cassettes. Everything seems to be intact, we just don't have an extruder. Ah, if only we had spare extruders. Stuffed pork chops, chips and salsa, and the last of the peanuts. Man, dinner. We got the new extruder. I'm gonna put the tube thing on there. hook it up, and then we're gonna give it a whirl. Everything is heating up. I can't think of any reason why this wouldn't work, so we'll see. Whew. Well, you got all these guys going. The filament roll's about to finish, and I think we can kind of wrap it up. Big day. Ugh. To quote a Coldplay album, a rush of blood to the head. Well, as I teased before, we've got one more shop to, one more guest to feature from the Gratitude Gang for the year. It's already, man, as you guys can hear and see, like, it feels like the entire room is just moving. It would be creepy if it wasn't so attractively productive. But we've got one more shop to feature. This is my good friend David. We've been talking a lot on Facebook. And this is a guy, I mean, you're gonna see. This is a guy that really knows his stuff. He's a fellow fan of the S5. He's got a couple of them. And he's really into Star Wars. When I was a kid, I used to sit in my room and just recite Star Wars to myself sometimes because I had the whole thing memorized. I had one of those low quality VHSs that had all three of the Tridge on there. So I really get it. Like, when I look at this guy's stuff, it's definitely a future I could have had. But he's commented a lot, he contributes a lot, and it's time you guys meet David. And here is the video now.
Hi guys, my name is David White. My YouTube is Whitey's Wicked Workshop, and my Etsy is Whitey's Wicked Shop, because they wouldn't let me put all of that into one name. But this is my my theater down in my basement. During COVID, I started building like a Star Wars theater type thing here. And yeah, as you can see, I like to 3D print. I have a lot of stuff around that I 3D printed. You can see a lot of that stuff in my YouTube channels. It's kind of a mess right now. But yeah, let's go through the door here into my shop. So yeah, this is kind of like my, well, it is the cantina, but eventually it is the cantina, but right now it's taken over by my 3D printers. So I'm eventually going to move them over, but I'm printing some stuff right now. Some clear filament there. Still got Ender 3s going. And I do have the CR10S5 right here. Now let's do some kind of plate. But I mostly try to do all Star Wars stuff. You know, parts and pieces for my shop. Let's see. So that's the filament area. And I'll take you to the other part of to the real workshop. But this is like where I do my resin. The smaller parts, 2 resin printers and a UV light there. I have a sink, and this is my little paint booth that I built. And then this is my shop. But I guess I'll show my face like Mark does. Yeah, so I have all my parts and junk over here and up top there from the Dollar Tree, of course. And this is my kind of prototype area. And I'm just constantly building stuff, you know, parts and pieces. And then I have kind of parts and pieces all over the place, droid parts, stuff that is half built. But yeah, this is it. Got a laser cutter there. a little bit of everything. I like to stay busy. I try to not turn it into a job. It's more of a hobby for me, even though I like to do 3D modeling now a lot more than I like to YouTube, because I really hate the editing part. But maybe I should do more videos like this where it's just off the cuff, kind of like Mark does. I don't know. But yeah, wanted to say hi to the gratitude gang out there. I'm gonna have to order one of those chihuahuas so I could put it up somewhere down here. But you guys have a good night. Peace.
Yeah, we've got some heavy hitters in the gratitude gang, and we will link below to his stuff. It's really worth checking out. He's a super cool guy, and I particularly like those IG-88s, the bounty hunter droid. I think it's IG-88. I used to have the action figures and stuff. It's been a while, but some very quality stuff. Hey, and drop a comment below if you want David to start making some more regular stuff, because he has videos and stuff. I think we just need to encourage him a little bit. So drop a comment below and tell him that he needs to pump out the content. But yeah, today I am very grateful for the fact that all of these, I think literally all of the printers I've rehabbed are working basically perfectly. I have repaired a lot of printers in my day, and it's just nice to see them behaving. We are very, very, very prepared, even though we're only 3 or 4 days away from the wave. Everything's looking good. Looks like it's gonna be fine. I've been grateful for that several episodes in a row, and that is because that's how grateful I am for that. So, yep. Well, time for the gratitude gang up. You know what to do. Tell me in the comments what small or large things you are grateful for. Could be all sorts of things. Could be a cup of coffee, could be walking your dog. It could be the fact that the once planet Pluto exists. Fun story. I remember when Pluto was considered not a planet anymore. I was out hanging out with a Canadian friend of mine, and he came to me and he's like, "Hey, Canada, we just lost a province." Or no, he said, "Canada just gained a province." And I said, "Oh man, we just lost a planet." And he's like, "It wasn't yours. The planets belong to America, baby." So if you're grateful for planets, you can comment below. Tell me what projects you got going on. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me what you're grateful for. That's the big one. But you can tell me about other stuff too. And we will get back to featuring other shops. But trust me, I do not have an ounce of free time. Really at all. So we'll do that next year. But I appreciate you guys viewing. I love the commenting. I love seeing what everybody's doing. And I hope you guys enjoyed. A little shout out to David and his Basement of Destiny. Peace.